I know I might get a lot of hate for washing them saddles that way. And maybe even the same for these saddle blankets. I don't know. I know you're not supposed to do that to the saddles, but here's the problem. Them things have been dry rotting for, I don't know, 6-7 years. A couple of them are incomplete. All the leather's starting to curl and bind, and they've been covered in dirt and dust settling on them. There's mud hornets getting into them in pockets. We've had mice in the area they were being stored, and just lots of just filth and dry, and even been a little bit of moisture collecting on a few spots, getting wet. And there's a good chance that most of this is not salvageable anyway. So I didn't do any damage to this stuff by going through and hitting it with the power washer. We got all the dirt and the built up grime and everything like that off of these blankets and pads and saddles. Got all the grime out of the sheepskin underneath and stuff. So now I can actually get these things in the shop, rehydrate the leather, see what's any good, what's salvageable, see if I'm gonna have to dismantle parts of the saddle and replace sections of leather and things like that. I think I got 3 serviceable saddles. That the one right there, the 4th one, which is the second one from the right, it's the least complete, and it looks like a portion of the front tree where the horn is. Just below that, on that flange down there at the front, it looks like it might have a piece that's broken there. So I don't know how much of this is any good. It was given to me along with the horses, all the tack that was in the shed, everything. So now I got to sort through it and see what's serviceable, what's salvageable, and what's just garbage. Anything that's good and usable, great. Let's put that to one side. Anything that's salvageable, let's put it to another pile so we can see what we need to do to get it workable and back into serviceable order. And otherwise, anything that's just garbage, just get rid of it. It's more of a salvage operation and not just a, oh, let's clean these things up, you know. We got the room in the shop now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run hot water. This is softened water and it's hot. So I'm going to run that over the leathers and try to get that leather warmed up and taking a little bit of moisture. Like I said, it's so dry rot that it's all curled up and it won't even relax. And I could oil it, but it's not going to take enough hydration that way. So I got to get that leather saturated and try to get it up to temperature and warmed up and moist into the centers of it so it'll relax and lay again. And if that'll go well, then I can get it to at least shape back out and sit like it needs to, dry up, and then we can oil it good and then treat it and that kind of thing. I'm already seeing a couple spots on 1 or 2 of these that some of the stitching has come loose or worn through. Not too worried about that. I've done plenty of leather sewing, and so we'll see what we need to do to get any of these repaired and hopefully at least get 3 good usable saddles. If not all, if we can't salvage all of them, at least we can get, I think 3 are definitely usable. So let's see what we can do. These other 2 are pretty good size. They feel pretty good size for me, probably about the right size for me and all that. This other one looks like a youth saddle. It's pretty small in the tree and in the candle. We'll see, but now I'll get them rinsed off real good with the hot water. I just got that running right now, so I'll rinse that all off good and soak this up good again. Then I'll bring them in and hang them up on sawhorses so they can drape over and lay down, and hopefully they'll dry out overnight. I'll get the fire going good in the shop so it's nice and hot in here, and we'll get it to dry out good and lay down. Hopefully everything will relax, and then I can go to working on a little bit more detailed cleaning as needed, and then rehydration and oiling and treating. There's a whole bunch of halters and bridles and straps and all kinds of things in the truck that I got to get unloaded too and sort through and figure out what we have and what we don't have. And yeah, lots of things here to sort through. So, but that's the first start.
a good horse whisperer, you know. She's your horse though. Oh yeah, she definitely loves. Her high end is sensitive, maybe a little bit. Yep, and the Coban. Are you kind of giving it to me? Hold on. Oh, Ev, careful. Hold on. Oh. Well, Mooney wasn't quite comfortable with me helping her with her knee. However, I did reach out to somebody to get just some additional advice to see how I can help get her to a good place where I can start treating her knee. I'm going to have to readdress this at a different time. However, I want to get her a little bit more comfortable with me before I do a second attempt on helping her with her knee. We're trying to get the horses to be comfortable with us being in the pen with them. And Mooney's the only one that seems comfortable enough have the lead rope on her. I have been reaching out to a lady that is a subscriber, and she's offered to help me with any guidance on these horses. She's given me some tips to keep working with her in getting that trust. Mooney has been really awesome to work with. When I first started walking around with her, she would thrash her head around and kind of fight me. But now she starts to learn that I'm okay and we're going to be friends and we're going to be okay. But still, sometimes those behaviors come out. This is essentially the back pen that we're using to work with the horses. We try to kick all the cows out, but this particular cow decided to stay with us and help us monitor some recording, apparently. Pretty cute little Sebastian. However, this pen has been really great to work with because then it's kind of like a round pen, but it's not really. And we have water, we have food, and then we bring a couple of treats to help get the horses comfortable with us. We were able to get all the burrs off the horses, and they now have clean mane. And except for Banner Boy, he still has a little bit on top of his head, and he won't really let us touch him, which is okay. Banner Boy is not very comfortable with me, but he is comfortable with Mark. However, Mark was not able to get the top of his head. He was very spooked out about it. But what we can do is wait until spring and see if he'll be ready by then. After a couple of weeks of having the horses here, I cleaned out the firewood shed, and now we have that for shelter. When the weather gets bad, the horses go up and hide in that shelter. But sometimes I see them just out in the weather. They really kind of don't care. However, it's still available to them. We're hoping that in the springtime they're all comfortable with us, at least having the lead rope, and where they'll start walking with us a little bit easier. At the end of the month, we have an appointment at one of our local vets. They'll do the floating of the teeth, a full checkup, and they have a farrier that will come and do their hooves and just take a look at them. And we're hoping to have a little bit more answers on what these horses are capable of, if we have the right diet, and so on. as of right now, I'm so happy to have him here. And there's a lot to learn on my end on pretty much anything with horsemanship. And I'm hoping that it all kind of works out, and I'm going to just give my 100% to these horses and see what we can get out of them. I'm hoping that we get comfortable enough to even saddle them up and ride them in the spring. I really look forward to this journey with these animals, and I'm really excited to build relationships with each one of these horses. Really, we don't know what the future holds, but as of right now, things are starting to really look up. There is definitely a lot of information about how to care for horses and how to train them, and I am reading and looking at all of the information and choosing what works best for our situation. Please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel as I get a little bit more comfortable with the horses.